There's a kind of pain most people never meet. It doesn't come loud or sharp. It whispers day after day, reminding you that you're not enough. For most people, it breaks them. But some people, just a rare few, take that pain and build something unshakable out of it. Jack Miller was one of them. Jack wasn't a star. He wasn't born rich or brilliant or gifted. He was an ordinary young man from a small town in Ohio, living in a house that creaked when the wind blew. But inside his chest was a dream far too big for the town around him. To stand on a stage and speak to the world and make people feel something real. But there was a problem. Jack had a stutter. Every word felt like a wall, every sentence a climb. He could think faster than his mouth could move. And when he tried, people didn't listen. They laughed. In middle school, Jack stood in front of his class, clutching his paper speech with both hands. He tried to speak the first sentence, but the word wouldn't come out. It stuck in his throat like a stone. A few seconds passed, then came the whispers. Then the giggles. Then the laughter. They didn't laugh because they were evil. They laughed because they didn't understand. And in that moment, a young boy learned something brutal about the world. When you fall, not everyone reaches out their hand, some just watch. Jack walked home that day under a gray sky, cheeks burning, ears ringing with their laughter. He threw his crumpled speech in the trash. But that night, lying on his bed, he whispered a sentence to himself. "One day I'll speak, and the world will listen." While everyone else slept, Jack practiced. In front of a cracked mirror. With the old, scratched phone he used as a recorder. Every night, he repeated words until they no longer scared him. He didn't know how long it would take. He just knew he wouldn't quit. 3 years passed like that. No applause, no praise, no one even knew what he was doing. But Jack's stutter didn't own him anymore. He was starting to own it. But the world didn't see that. They still saw the same boy who once froze on stage. They still remembered the laughter. Then came the announcement, a local community event. The winner would get a chance to speak at the town hall. Jack signed up. The night of the event, the hall was packed. Old classmates, neighbors, even the teacher who used to finish sentences for him. Jack stood behind the curtain, hands shaking, heart pounding like a war drum. He stepped onto the stage. The lights blinded him. The mic felt like it weighed 100 pounds. He opened his mouth. And nothing came out. 30 seconds of silence. The same kind of silence that once swallowed him whole. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Told you he couldn't do it." The same laughter, the same sting. He walked off stage with his head down. That night he didn't practice. He didn't whisper dreams to himself. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, and asked the question every fighter asks at least once. Maybe they're right, maybe I'm just not enough. But then, like a quiet echo, came a voice in his memory. His father's voice. "Son, strength isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down." And just like that, Jack got up. He disappeared from the spotlight completely. No one saw him at any more events. No one heard him speak again. But what they didn't see, what they couldn't see, was what was happening behind closed doors. Jack turned his pain into a weapon. He woke up every day at 4 a.m., when the world was still quiet. He ran, not because running mattered, but because discipline matters. He trained his breathing. He trained his voice. He learned how to control the storm inside. His mornings were filled with sweat and silence. His nights were filled with stutters that slowly turned into sentences. Empty rooms became his arenas. Every failure was a brick, and Jack was building something bigger than anyone knew. 2 years. No stage, no spotlight, no one watching. But every single day, he got 1% better. The town held another event. Bigger, louder, cameras this time. Jack signed up again. But this Jack wasn't the trembling boy from years ago. This Jack walked like a man who'd already fought 10,000 battles in silence. When his name was called, he walked onto the stage like it belonged to him. The same people who once laughed at him leaned forward, curious. He gripped the mic. And this time, his voice didn't break. He didn't stutter. He didn't freeze. He spoke. Every sentence landed like a hammer. Every pause was powerful, not fearful. The same silence that once crushed him now served him. When he finished, the hall didn't laugh. It stood. A standing ovation. Some clapped, some cried. Jack didn't smile, he didn't cry. He just breathed, the kind of breath that says, "I told you so," without ever speaking the words. That night changed everything. Jack started posting short clips of his speeches online. People who didn't even know his name felt his words. He didn't speak like someone who read books about success. He spoke like someone who bled for it. His story spread, first to his town, then to the state, then far beyond. Soon Jack was invited to speak at schools, then universities, then corporate events. The boy who once couldn't finish a sentence now held rooms of thousands in the palm of his hand. But if you ask Jack, his proudest moment wasn't the stage. It was those quiet, unseen mornings at 4 a.m. when no one believed in him. When the world was silent. When he was his own audience. Discipline doesn't make you invincible. It makes you unshakable. It makes you so solid that even when the world doubts you, you don't care. Because your foundation isn't built on applause, it's built on work. People often ask, "Jack, what was your turning point?" They expect a big event. But the truth is, the turning point was the day after failure. When everyone forgot and he showed up anyway. He learned the hard truth. You don't rise because people believe in you. You rise because you believe in yourself even when no one else does. Maybe right now, you're standing on your own version of that stage. Your voice shakes, your dreams feel distant, and the laughter of others, real or imagined, rings in your ears. But Jack's story isn't about a speech. It's about a choice. The choice to get up when everything in you wants to quit. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to keep standing up. Because one day, if you keep building, the same world that laughed will be the one that claps. And when that day comes, you won't need their applause. You'll already know who you are.